Emma lived peacefully on her small farm, taking care of her vegetable garden, her chickens, and her home. Life was simple, until the Homeowners Association, HOA, decided to enforce strict new landscaping rules. The new regulations demanded every property look uniform, meaning Emma's small garden was suddenly declared non-compliant. At the monthly HOA meeting, Mr. Clark, the arrogant HOA president, confronted Emma. He slammed a folder full of notices on the table. "Emma," he barked, "your garden violates our uniformity standards. You have 7 days to remove it or face a $5,000 fine." Emma tried to reason with him. "This garden feeds my family," she pleaded. "It's not just decoration, it's survival." But the board laughed coldly, dismissing her concerns. Behind the scenes, several HOA members had been complaining about farm people ruining the neighborhood's image. Emma noticed her neighbors whispering about her, some avoiding eye contact. It became clear that she was being targeted. Every day, HOA notices appeared on her door, warnings, threats, and fines. Jack, her husband, advised her to stay calm, but deep down, he sensed the tension was escalating. The HOA bullies were becoming more aggressive, and Emma's quiet resistance made her an easy target. She had no idea that their harassment would soon turn violent. It was a calm summer evening when Emma stepped outside to water her garden. The sun dipped below the horizon, and the warm breeze carried the scent of fresh soil. But suddenly, she heard footsteps, heavy, quick, and unfamiliar. Before she could turn, 3 HOA bullies, relatives of board members, grabbed her. One twisted her arm, another shoved her against the wooden fence, and the third tied her wrists tightly with rope. "Maybe now you'll follow the rules, farm girl," one sneered, laughing cruelly. Emma cried out for help, but no one came. The nearby neighbors heard everything yet stayed silent, terrified of the HOA's power. The bullies mocked her, calling her trashy and non-compliant, humiliating her while she struggled to breathe. "This is what happens when you defy the HOA," another hissed. By the time they left, Emma's arms were bruised, her face streaked with tears, and her pride shattered. When Jack came home and found her tied to the fence, his world stopped. He gently untied her, his hands trembling with rage. Emma sobbed in his arms, whispering what happened. That was the moment Jack's expression changed. His calm, quiet demeanor vanished. Inside him, something dangerous awakened, a part of his past Emma had never seen before. The bullies had no idea who they had just provoked. Jack had always been quiet about his past. To the neighbors, he was just a hard-working farmer. But few knew that Jack was a former Special Forces strategist with years of training in intelligence, counter-surveillance, and tactical operations. That night, as he sat beside Emma, holding her hand, his mind wasn't just angry, it was calculating. "They think they can hurt you and walk away," he said softly. "They're wrong." Jack started gathering evidence. He installed hidden cameras, hacked into HOA emails, and accessed financial records. What he uncovered shocked him. The HOA had been illegally extorting homeowners, issuing false fines, and using the money to pay themselves secret bonuses. Even worse, Jack discovered the HOA president, Mr. Clark, had friends in local law enforcement, making sure complaints never went anywhere. The system was rigged. Jack tried the legal route first, filing a report, but when he learned the sheriff dismissed it as a civil matter, he realized something chilling: no one was coming to help them. "If the law won't stop them," Jack muttered, "then I will." For the first time in years, he opened a locked trunk in the attic. Inside were his old military gear, encrypted drives, and classified strategies he once used overseas. Jack had avoided that side of himself for years, but now, it was time to bring it back. Jack spent 2 sleepless nights building a plan. This wasn't just revenge, this was justice. Using his military training, he hacked into the HOA's servers, pulling emails, contracts, and private recordings. Then, at 3 a.m., Jack printed hundreds of copies of documents exposing the HOA's corruption. By dawn, every single homeowner woke up to a thick envelope on their doorstep containing proof of the HOA's crimes. That morning, chaos erupted. Dozens of furious residents stormed the HOA office, shouting and demanding answers. Jack arrived silently, carrying his tablet. With a single tap, he projected video footage on a large outdoor screen, showing the bullies tying Emma to the fence. Gasps filled the crowd. Outrage spread like wildfire. "How dare you abuse your power," one neighbor yelled. "We trusted you, and you turned this HOA into a nightmare," screamed another. Within hours, local news channels picked up the story. Social media exploded with the viral video, and federal investigators got involved. By nightfall, warrants were issued for multiple HOA members on charges of assault, extortion, and fraud. The HOA thought they had control. Jack burned their entire empire to the ground. Weeks later, the HOA collapsed under federal investigation. The corrupt board members faced heavy fines, lawsuits, and prison sentences. The once feared HOA president, Mr. Clark, was led away in handcuffs, his empire destroyed. Emma stood beside Jack at a community gathering where neighbors cheered them both. Families who once feared speaking out now thanked Jack for exposing the truth. "I didn't do this just for Emma," Jack said firmly, standing before the crowd. "I did this for all of us. No one should live in fear of their HOA." The community voted to dissolve the old HOA and create a new homeowners association built on fairness and transparency. For the first time in years, neighbors smiled freely, unafraid of fines, harassment, or bullying. Emma finally returned to her garden, planting her vegetables without fear. Jack watched her quietly, knowing they had taken back their home and dignity. As the sun set over their peaceful farm, Emma whispered, "We're free now, Jack, thanks to you." Jack smiled faintly and replied, "No, thanks to us."